So this is what I do each week that helps me make my weeks really productive. So every Sunday evening before the work week starts on Monday, I take a pen and a paper and I write down first of all what my goal for the week is. Now, notice that I did not say goals. I said goal. That doesn't mean that I don't have a number of things that I want to achieve that week, but I fixate particularly on one of the goals, the most important one. That's the one I'm telling myself that even if all else fails, I must achieve this one. I have to do everything within my power to make sure that I complete this one. Next, I break up that goal into actionable tasks. So say my goal at the end of the week is to have dropped 3 new videos, for instance. Then my actionable task will include things like shooting, editing, making thumbnails for the videos, doing the research for the videos I want to make themselves, writing the scripts. All these things are part of the actionable tasks that I need to complete in order for me to achieve the goal of making that number of videos that I want to make for the week. Now, not only do I break them down into the actionable tasks, but I also assign those actionable tasks to where I want them to be. So I would say, Monday morning, I will do this one to this time. And after this one, I will now do this one and this one. So I have to assign it. This is the one I will get done on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, stuff like that. Also, here's a tip for you if you're doing this. Start with the hardest tasks. If you watched my video where I talked about how my energy levels are usually highest at the beginning of the day and they deplete as the day goes down, same thing applies to the week too. For me and for a lot of people, the energy levels are usually highest at the beginning of the weeks and they deplete as the week goes down. So days like Monday, Tuesday are the days where you have really higher energy level to operate. Wednesday is manageable. By Thursday, Friday, the whole thing is already going down and people are already beginning to think about going to the club on Friday, resting on Saturday, or going to play their favorite games on Saturday, going to church on Sunday, visiting friends and stuff like that. So at that time where their mind's already wandering off work, it really becomes very hard to do all the hard tasks. The small tasks are easy to do at that time, but the hard tasks are not so easy to do. And then you find people beginning to push tasks up to the next week and something like that. So before fatigue sets in, before procrastination comes, before distractions arrive, you would have been done with most of the hard tasks and the easy ones will not be too hard to deal with. And also, if you can, dangle a treat for yourself at the end of the day or at the end of the week for completing your tasks. Find something that you really enjoy doing or participating in and promise yourself that you will enjoy it at the end of the day or week as a reward for completing your tasks. Like I told you guys, I'm an avid fan of Chinese costume drama series, especially the ones where they are clashing swords and fighting and flying up in the sky. And I'm always trying to know what happens next. And these people are always releasing the episodes of this series on a daily basis. So every day you get 1 or 2 episodes. And I'm always trying to catch up with the next episode. So one of the things I do is that I always promise myself, I say, okay, I'll get to watch the day's episode once I complete my tasks. So oftentimes, the whole idea, the whole anticipation to know what now happens with the story I was following becomes one of the fuel that drives me to stay on task and not get distracted and not procrastinate so that I can finish this task and go and enjoy the series that I want to enjoy. Also, another advantage of it is that it makes you not feel guilty when you are indulging in things that don't really feel productive because you know you've been productive for the other parts of the day. So when I get engaged with my tasks and I do them over the day, and then when it's evening and I'm relaxing and watching my Chinese series, I don't feel any guilt about it at all, even though at that point it feels like I'm being unproductive, because I know that I've spent a major part of the day being productive and that I'm actually enjoying the rewards for my work today. Another tip for you is to always stay on the target across the week, because sometimes you may be taking the actions that you've broken your goal down into and it's seeming like it's not about to lead up to the expected outcome. But this is my advice. Even if the actions look like they are not working, so long as they are not having any drastic negative effects on your expected outcome, try and stay on course and complete your tasks for the week. It's just a week. It's not that much. Nothing will spoil. The reason I tell people to do this and stay on this course is that oftentimes at the beginning of the week, some of the actions you take don't look like they are contributing to the overall outcome. And if you quit too early, they never compound to the result that you're supposed to get at the end of the week. For instance, say your goal for the week is to add 20 new customers to your business, but your daily tasks involve cold calling people, cold calling like 50 people every day. And then on the first day, you cold call 50 people and none of them buy from you. And then the second day, you cold call another 50 people and then none of them buy from you. And then you think that that course of action is probably not working and then you have to try something else. But so long as that's what you broke and that's what you say that you're going to do for the week, I would rather urge you to continue, because sometimes that action compounds, and from somewhere like Thursday, Friday, or maybe even Wednesday, you start getting callbacks, you start getting people reaching back out to you. The people that you've already invested your time in over Monday and Tuesday, they start responding to you maybe on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. So if you've already set out, these are the actions I'm going to take to achieve the particular outcome at the end of the week, please stick to that. Please don't pivot so quickly. Please don't abandon so easily. Another reason why I advise this is that it teaches you to become disciplined with your consistency. So if you say you are going to do something, you stay on it. You don't jump out at every hint of failure, at every hint of an obstacle. So you stay on it. You keep doing it until you get to the point that you originally estimated you are going to do it for. Unless, like I said earlier on, it's having a really drastic negative effect on your expected outcome or on the system entirely. Now, at the end of the week, I do a review of my week. I usually do it on the same Sunday before I set the goal for the new week. I do a review of the week that had just ended. I ask myself things like, how did the week go? Did I achieve my targets for the week? Did I complete all my tasks? And what was the impact of the tasks on the overall targets, the overall goal I had for the week? If the week went well and I met my target, I repeat the process. I set a new target, break it down to new tasks, and then proceed to execute them just like I did the previous week. If I had a week where the tasks were somehow contributing positively towards the target I had, but I haven't yet met the target, I just need to do more of the tasks, then I'll just keep doing more of the tasks for the coming week. So for instance, let's use something like when I talked about you want to get customers. Let's say your target was to add 100 customers to your business, and every day you were cold calling 50 people. And out of every 50 persons that you called, 2 people or 3 people turned into customers. So at the end of the week, you haven't yet hit your 100 customers target, but it's moving towards it. So I just keep doing the thing. I just keep calling people like that and doing it and increasing it until I hit that 100. Because some things often require more than 1 week to achieve. But if the actions, if the tasks that I was undertaking turn out to have adverse negative effects on my expected outcome, on my goals, I change the actions immediately. I change the tasks immediately. Now, I don't change the goal because the goal is still important to the overall thing I want to achieve. But I can change the tasks that lead up to that goal. I can change my strategy. I can say, okay, I was approaching it from this angle, but now I'm going to try this other angle for this week. And then I will break that other angle into actionable tasks, just like I did the last week. Then I will execute on them. So I'm just repeating this process. Either I'm refining and changing it, either I'm continuing it, or either I'm setting up a new one because the previous one has already succeeded. But the important thing is to create a system for you that ensures not just that your weeks are productive, but that the week that comes after it becomes even more productive than the previous one. So you keep getting better and better intentionally. And that's what growth is about. When you repeatedly do this, setting goals, outlining actions, reviewing and refining at the end of each week, your weeks will get a whole lot better, and the effects will keep compounding until your productivity each week becomes really super. So try it and see if it works for you. It has worked for me. It has been working for me. I'm still doing it. I've given others the same advice. It has worked for most of them, if not all. So I urge you to try it and see if it works for you. But don't just leave your week up to chance. Whatever happens, happens. Have a goal in mind, even if it's not written on paper. But I prefer you to write it down on paper, because when you write it down, there just happens to be this kind of commitment that people give and this kind of thoughts that people give to things that they write down more than things that they just had in their minds. So write down a goal, break it down to actions that you can do, because goals can be vague sometimes. Then go ahead to do those things. And at the end of the week, review what you've done and see how you forge ahead. It's actually a simple process, but that's how I do it. So yeah, that's it. Hope you learned something.